We are back and fresh off a vote on the House floor. Congressman Trey Gowdy, chairman of the House Oversight Committee and member of the House Intelligence Committee as well. Good to see you tonight, Chairman. Thank you for being here. So this, obviously, the Democrat memo, the rebuttal to your memo came out over the weekend, and you've had a chance to look it over, no doubt. What did you think about their assertion that there was plenty of other reasons to surveil Carter Page other than the dossier?
Well, my first reaction to that is if you had a bunch of other reasons to get a FISA application on Carter Page, then why did you need the dossier and a Yahoo News article? If you have enough information without using the dossier and a newspaper article, then why did you use it? So I've never taken the position that they didn't have a reason for being interested in Carter Page. I've never taken that position. But if you have enough, why are you relying on a National Enquirer article and, no offense, but media reporting to get a warrant?
So when you go to they had every reason to want to do that, right? That you go through their document and you look at the meetings, the FBI surveillance of Carter Page starting back in 2013, discussions that he had with individuals. At one point, members of the Russian intelligence arm call him an idiot. They say that he's practicing his Russian on them. So obviously there's a lot of back and forth going on there. My question is, if there was so much concern over Carter Page, it doesn't seem like the investigation is particularly interested in him anymore and hasn't been for some time.
Well, he hasn't been indicted. We don't have any idea what's coming, if anything, by Robert Mueller. But you put your finger on something. The Russians didn't take him seriously. I don't think the FBI took him seriously. I spent a long time interviewing him. If ever a witness needed to avail himself of his Sixth Amendment right to a lawyer, it was Carter Page. That was one of the most painful interviews I have ever been part of. It was actually sad. I think Democrats, if they were to be honest, the House Intel interview of Carter Page, they would tell you it was sad. He doesn't know when to stop talking, and nobody takes him seriously. So he's not Jason Bourne. He's not James Bond. If the FBI wanted to investigate him, fine, go do it. But why are you relying on opposition research by the DNC and not telling the court where you got it?
And your memo also pointed out that Deputy Director McCabe testified before the committee in December of 2017 that no surveillance warrant would have been sought from FISA without the Steele dossier confirmation. So it's pretty tough to argue that, given the fact that McCabe himself said that they needed that dossier in order to get it. Now, I know you have a lot of questions about the dossier and how aware the rest of the intelligence arms in the Obama administration were of this. How is it going with getting answers or responses from John Brennan and Mr. Clapper?
I just bumped into Devin on the floor. I don't think the deadline is expired for us to get answers, but, John Brennan and Clapper and others have a lot to say when they're on television shows. So I would expect them to have at least enough time to answer some pretty rudimentary but fundamental questions about what they knew about the dossier and when they knew it. We've had, I interviewed Brennan, several months ago?
Yeah, we played that the other night.
I don't think he was aware that dossier was used in a court proceeding.
All right. Another topic for you. Hope Hicks is going to testify in front of the House Intel Committee tomorrow, we understand. What is the scope of the questioning was one of the issues that delayed that. What is the scope of the questioning for her tomorrow?
You know what, Martha, I hate to be a bad Republican, but I don't think Congress ought to be limiting the scope of the question. I mean, it has to be relevant, obviously. We can't ask her about something that happened in high school. And I say that because the Democrats sometimes do like to go back 25 years to ask questions. But we're investigating what did Russia do, with whom did they do it, what was the U.S. government's response, and then the issue of disseminating classified information. That's the scope to me. So if she was part of the campaign, then we ought to be able to ask her about Adam Schiff's allegations of collusion. So I don't think that we ought to be limited to anything other than that scoping document and what's relevant to that.
And you'll be asking about the Trump Tower meeting in June of 2016 and the response to that was put together on the Trump plane, I would imagine.
The response might also be in Bob Mueller's jurisdiction, but we will ask about that. We're entitled to ask about it, but most assuredly that meeting in June of 2016 at Trump Tower. It's relevant.
Trey Gowdy, always good to see you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.